Now that's saying a lot. And where does it lead to? What is the Declaration of Independence promising? Well, it's promising the opportunity to fail. It's promising the opportunity for Americans to somehow preserve this thing, independence in a dangerous world. But what's the reason? What's the justification for it? Do Americans want to be a great power? No, the whole idea is to construct a regime that enables people to pursue happiness, as Jefferson puts it in the Declaration, in ways that suit their own needs, their own understanding. But beneath that idea of individual pursuits of happiness is a collective idea of the enterprise. And this is the key thing about the Declaration of Independence and Jefferson's contribution. And that is his understanding that the people must give voice to their collective sense of their rights. In other words, to what they share with each other. Because if you do not subordinate yourself to a higher authority, if you're not the subject of a king, but you are your own king in some sense, it doesn't mean that you could survive in the state of nature, in the anarchy of no rule. There has to be another principle of rule that emerges from the people. That is the great idea of the Declaration of Independence. It's a beginning, it's not the end. Now, a real challenge for us is to connect the Declaration of Independence to the larger idea of founding. And that brings in the drafters of the federal Constitution. And to put the Declaration of Independence in that context of a broader founding, which culminates in a new political order, a new order for the ages, is to ask the question, what did the founders do in 1787 and through the ratification of the Constitution by 1789 with the inauguration of a new government? Did they create something perfect? No. Is it a great discovery of ours that in the great sausage we call the US Constitution, there are many unsavory elements like the 3/5 clause? Is this news? No. It was a bundle of compromises. Now, we think we, advanced, righteous, progressive people, are beyond compromise. We've transcended that. We represent something, well, more perfect. Well, I'm sorry. That idea of creating a more perfect union is, in its very formulation, an acknowledgement that the union now ratified is not perfect. Certainly, we know the Confederation, the Articles of Confederation, the preceding Constitution was not a workable document. It was like a treaty, and a treaty that created an organization that could not sustain itself. Yes, but did what emerged from the Constitutional Convention, is that the answer? Well, I would answer you if you asked that question. Well, how about the Civil War? The whole thing fell apart, didn't it? Doesn't that indicate that there's something, well, radically imperfect about the Constitution of 1787? And we might say, modestly and humbly, something imperfect even by the Constitution as now interpreted on the basis of the Civil War amendments. Did it ever reach perfection? Could it be more perfect? These are rhetorical questions, and I'm asking them in the spirit of Jefferson's idea of a mobilized people making their own history, creating a government for themselves, but not forever, and understanding that future generations would not live in the same world that they lived in. That future generations could not help but be more enlightened than they were. The thing, the excitement of the Enlightenment is not the finality of the answers that natural philosophers, Jefferson and his friends in the Great Republic of Letters, that they got it and they understood everything. The excitement of the Enlightenment is that they were beginning to see the light, that some things were now becoming clear, not everything. More things would become clear for future generations.